like a plane and like a motorcycle driving by at the same time.
Dude, this is what I have to fucking like. And like the worst part is like somebody that lives around here does this shit at like midnight or like 1 a.m.
That's obnoxious.
Yeah, it's like, dude, your car doesn't need to be loud to the point where my ears bleed, man. It doesn't like make you cool. It makes me hate you.
See, I kind of think it makes you cool.
No,
because like, look, I'm louder. You notice me. This is me driving. Like, you know when I'm coming.
Yeah, but I feel like then when you get, I don't know. I just feel like people like that should get their ass whipped.
I agree. Them and bicyclists.
Yeah, you know they shut down the whole fucking Bronx River for those douchebags.
Yeah, I think we talked about it on here.
Did we? Oh yeah, we probably did.
I probably went on
a rant.
Yeah, we've talked about bicycles before, but so Bingeaholics Anonymous, Billions, season 2, episode 12, season finale.
100%. Like, dude, what the fuck?
Scene 1, take 1, action. That was a good one.
Got me good, man.
Had a nice little rant about shitty mufflers.
Dude, how fucking long was that live for?
It was pretty much like as soon as we started talking about the sounds, like that's when I hit play.
Okay. That was good.
Got most of it in there.
Caught me off guard.
Yeah, but so we're back. This one is coming out probably a week later than it should be. That's on us. We had some conflicts of schedule, paired with some, laziness, I guess. But we're here now. Yeah. And luckily, it was the season finale, so we kind of had time to think about it, and we don't have to worry about another episode coming up right away.
Yep.
Yeah. So, but we are back. What's new with you? It's been over a week.
Nothing much. I've been working a lot. The weekend, like later part of the week was crazy. My uncle and aunt had their 70th birthday party, and then Mother's Day came up, so I was kind of all over the place. Been trying to go to bed earlier. So
look at you.
Yeah, I've been doing pretty good. I've been going to bed probably like 10:30, 11:30, somewhere in between there, almost every night. So I've been doing that. Been trying to like exercise a little bit more. So after work, I come home and I just go out and like go for a jog or a walk. So nice. I've been busy. I've been staying active.
Good. Just being productive. I luckily I do physical stuff at my job, so I don't have, because I hate running. I hate running.
Oh, I hate it.
There's nothing I hate. I'd rather do less than run.
I don't enjoy going out at all after I get home from work to do that.
Yeah, no, of course. I mean, who would, unless you're a crazy person?
Exactly.
But yeah, luckily I don't have to do that because I'm just doing stuff all day. I'm just doing physical lifting shit. I pick things up and I put them down.
Yeah, see, I work at a bank, so I just sit on my ass all day and do business stuff.
You're moving money, stacks.
I'm basically like the next Bobby.
Hey, all the power to you.
But yeah, so that's it's and I got a Fitbit.
Oh, nice.
So she's actually pretty helpful. I'm not gonna lie. I was kind of like skeptical of it, but it's super convenient, like tracking like your steps, and like it reminds you to like get up every hour. That's something I never do.
Okay.
Like I always I'm sitting. I could be sitting for like a couple hours.
Yeah.
So it's nice. Like it'll like vibrate real quick on my wrist and be like, oh yeah, like get up and walk around for 200 steps.
You haven't done shit for a little bit, man. Come on.
Yeah. So it's nice because like when you're busy doing shit throughout the day, like if you're working or whatever it is, like I don't know, especially at my job, like I don't remember to get up. I'm sitting down at my desk. I'm just sitting at my desk doing something.
Yeah. No,
so it's nice. It's a nice little reminder.
So you said you don't listen to it?
No, I do.
Oh, okay. I thought you said I just ignore it.
I try to.
Okay, you try to. Okay.
I try to. Some like obviously depending on what I'm doing at work, sometimes I can't just get up and like walk. It's like leave a customer. Like, all right, I'll be right back. leave the branch for 5 minutes.
You just stand up at your desk and you're just like walking in place. So what we're gonna do for you is we're gonna move this over to this account.
Yeah, that might not end well. They might get a little scared and then leave.
What's wrong with this guy?
Exactly.
This is the guy that's handling my money.
Yeah, and I don't know if you'd want that kind of person handling your money. So I don't do it, but I try my best to listen to it, and it's pretty cool because it actually, like if you text me, it will vibrate, and then it'll tell me what you said.
Oh, I don't know, but I don't know if I want all my texts being broadcast onto my wrist.
Yeah, I see now. Fortunately, nobody said anything like too crazy, whereas like somebody could have seen it on my wrist either. Like, because some of our conversations get pretty ridiculous. So I don't know. I haven't run into that situation yet.
Okay, well that's good. It's that you don't want that text coming and say, "Hey, I buried the body here," in case you're wondering, and just like having sitting next to a cop at like a Dunkin' Donuts.
See, and yesterday that could have been a bad thing because I was like surrounded by 4 cops. So that could have ended poorly for me if if something like that happened.
You're just standing there, someone texts you, "Hey, I want those drugs now."
Yeah, and the cop would just be like,
"Oh, what drugs?"
Like, do you mind if we search you real quick?
So we're gonna have to ask you to step out of the vehicle.
That's when I think I just floor it. At that point,
yeah, might as well.
I mean,
you don't have any drugs, unless you do. Then all the power to you. But.
Yeah, but I mean, it's I guess slap on the wrist is the cops around here don't care. Yeah. That's not true. They probably care more.
Yeah,
because of where we live.
They have nothing else to do, so they're just like, let's just go bust people smoking pot.
Yeah, so maybe running would not be a good idea. It gets SWAT called on you and like
smoking the marijuana.
The fucking helicopters coming at you, so it's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, I've seen them bust out the helicopters every now and again. It's like always for something like super stupid. Ridiculous, like an attempted B&E, and like there's like 10 cop cars on my street, and like
do you remember that?
Yeah, that was crazy.
When we were like driving, I think you were driving me back to my place, and like it was like county cops were like blocking off highways, and like a helicopter was there.
Yeah, and we also like right before that we were like firing off airsoft guns. We're like, wait, is that for us? Did someone think we had like real guns? We were just like messing around in my backyard with like airsoft guns. Like, did someone see us? What the hell's going on?
Being hunted by the county police and state police.
Yeah, no.
That's how we do. We're badass. But I have a question because I haven't asked you this question in like over a week. What are you watching?
Ooh. I just started watching recently Master of None. Show made by Aziz Ansari on Netflix.
Okay, that's in the second season.
Yep, second season just came out the other day. A couple episodes in. If you're a fan of Aziz, it's definitely worth checking out. He's funny, but it's not so much like a ridiculous funny show like you would expect from based off his stand up or his role on Parks and Recs. It's it definitely deals with more like life stuff. It's kind of like Louis in a sense where the subject matter isn't like overly funny, but he makes it at funny situations out of it. Yeah. The Louis C.K. show, Louis, it's kind of like that, but it's worth checking out. It's on Netflix, and so there's really he could say or kind of do whatever he wants. Not that he's like overly vulgar, but
you can get away with more on Netflix.
Yeah. But you could tell that he wrote it all, directed it all. Like it's pretty good. It's pretty good. He's more talented than I thought.
So it's like his little his like pet project.
Right. Yeah, and it's pretty cool because about a year or two ago, I follow him on, I don't know if it's Instagram or Twitter or something, but he was posting all these pictures of just him going around Italy with like one of his like comedian friends. They're just like eating all this pasta and all this stuff. And turns out the second season starts, he's like living in Italy being like a pasta maker. And he's going to all these places, going around like eating all this food and stuff. So like it's kind of him just like doing what he wants to do at this point and just like filming while he's there, which is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out on Netflix.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out. So yeah, I guess we'll get into it. Episode 12, the season finale, Ball in Hand. That's the name of the episode. Starts out with Boyd just showing up on Bobby's doorstep. telling him he's about to be arrested, giving him the same kind of courtesy heads up. But I felt like it was almost like a backhanded heads up, like the way he did it.
You mean like he's trying to like throw it in his face now?
Yeah, in a sense, like I mean, he's still warning him. He's giving him a lot of heads up. Whereas, when Bobby gave him a heads up, it was like, "Hey, these guys are about to walk in the door right now and take you."
Yeah. Because when Bobby got the phone call to like let him know that boys gonna get arrested, that was only like 15, 20 minutes before he actually got arrested.
Right.
And he didn't tell him until like then he tells him at the very end, like right before they were gonna walk through the door. Like Boyd went to him like in the morning.
Yeah, like first thing in the morning he did that. And Bobby's a smart guy. He put 2 and 2 together that if he's able to like kind of travel around freely, he's got his suit in a limo again, he's coming and telling me that I'm about to be arrested, I was set up.
Yeah.
Like he knows that happened, but he's just like, what is he gonna do at this point?
Yeah, he has to just run.
Yeah. Yeah, so he ends up kind of at first he doesn't want to run. He's like, I'm gonna fight, this is bullshit. He tries to call Hall, the CIA guy. Ghost, nowhere to be found. He's out, which you have to kind of see that coming.
I think like once Bobby realized that like he wasn't there anymore, he's like, okay.
Then he knew it was serious.
Yeah, he's like, okay, this is definitely serious. Maybe I should leave.
Yeah, because that guy did some shit.
Yes,
everybody needs a guy like that in their life to just kind of like just get like if you need something done, like this guy will do it. Like no matter really what it is, he's just kind of he's down for anything. He's like, if you're gonna keep paying me, I'll do it. Obviously, I'm sure he's gonna pay a lot of money, but it'd be nice to have that where everyone doesn't have to get their hands dirty.
Exactly. You could just pay somebody to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
And the guy's super loyal too. Well, it's kind of surprising for like that kind of guy.
I mean, how loyal is he that he's gone at the first sign of,
Yeah, but I mean, I guess you're right.
I guess he knew that this one was serious.
Yeah, because even like when Bobby didn't get arrested in the first season, but when like all that shit was happening, like he still stuck around.
Yeah,
for the he tried to help him wherever he could, and with like getting shit on Chalk or Wendy, whatever it was. So,
right.
But yeah, like now I guess it is serious. If it made the guy, the former CIA guy, just disappear off the face of the earth. Yeah,
and when he was talking to his lawyer, he was like, "Did you talk to Hall?" And he was like, "No, he's Ghost." And he's like, "Oh wow, this is serious."
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. Yeah, it's like you just know.
I'm fucked.
You just know, but yeah. So he's kind of just trying to, he's making preparations for, if he does get arrested. So he goes over to X Corp, X Capital, whatever it's called, his company.
I just want to shout out to his wife for just being like, we're not running.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'm sorry, but like, yo, we got a pretty sweet gig going on here. I'm not leaving this. That's
what I'm saying. She's just like, I'm not. We're staying here. Like, you can go and run.
Yeah.
But
even if like they freeze all your assets and stuff, you still have that crazy house. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like you might have to hear the personal chef and the pool boy and whatever, but. Like, I'm sure you could borrow money from relatives to just buy food, but you have an awesome house, like a pool and all that stuff. So you just hang out here.
Yeah, you got like a 40-bedroom house.
Yeah.
I think you'll be okay.
Yeah, exactly. You'll manage. But she helps kind of prep the house because she takes all the money out of the safe when the cops show up there. So she was down to help, but
yeah, I think like she went from, like previous episodes where like they had a big falling out. She went from like hating him to like being okay with him. Now she's like, in again, like, okay, let's do this type of shit.
Yeah, she's like, I'm in if it's here, I'm not going anywhere else.
But I think Bobby fucks himself at the end of the episode. I think it's the end of the episode where like he says he's gonna go home, and then he doesn't. And she's just like sitting there with the kids, and she's just like, "Yeah, he's not coming home."
Yeah, it's around the middle somewhere because
the middle, okay.
Because this is, he's kind of laying low. He hands out his credit cards to a bunch of little Mexican guys, and he's like, "Just go start buying shit." So they don't know where he is. He's not using Easy Pass, anything like that. So He calls his wife from some phone. I don't know. Her phone is tapped, but they call her, and he's like, "Yeah, I'm coming home first before I turn myself in, whatever." Blah blah blah. And they all go to the house, and it was a setup. Or
Yeah.
so yeah, he set them up to go do something else, but
I knew he wasn't in that car.
yeah,
Like, it
yeah,
just seemed too, like, perfect that they tapped the phone. He happened to call her and tell her that he's coming home and, like, all that shit. I'm like, no,
right.
that's not gonna work.
It's like Axe is too good for this. He's too smart for this to happen just
Yeah.
like that. You know, something else is going to happen. But I want to talk about a little bit before that when he went over to X Capital and he had to kind of set it up for when after he left. So he made Taylor the CIO, and Wags is basically running the show, kind of managing everybody. What do you think about Taylor's? You know, she's like in the last like 2 episodes, she's gone from like analyst to like chief intelligence officer.
Yeah, I said it in previous episodes, and I was like, I kind of hope she gets her ass handed to them,
Yeah,
because they just, they were like, they went from like, oh, the environment and like, all this to just like, fuck it, I'll be on private jet, fuck it, give me all this money, fuck it.
I agreed with you a couple episodes ago, so that was out, but I think I'm back in now. Because like the part that annoyed me was when they would be like super wishy-washy, like, oh, I don't know what to do, like I'm still trying to do good, but like, this looks so much fun, like whatever. I Now that they're all the way in the like the life, the finance life, whatever you want to call it, like I'm back in on them. Like just like it's like a villain role, because I didn't think that they were a good enough actor to kind of portray that that internal confliction, internal like battle of little devil and angel on the shoulder, whatever. I didn't think they were good enough to pull it off, but like for them to just be that kind of like super like monotonous like villain, like bad guy, bad people, I don't know what you would call them, doesn't matter. I like them better in this position where like they just kind of this cold-blooded, calculated, whatever.
Yeah. So just a big villain now. Instead
Right.
of being like this back and forth, what do I do? Should I be bad? Should I be good?
Yeah, it's like one of those people that you kind of love to hate.
Yeah, I hate them still.
Like a Joffrey or a Cersei in Game of Thrones. Like, yeah, obviously you hated them at the time, whatever. But like, without them, would the show be as good? Because you need that.
I mean, if the show didn't have Taylor, I think it'd still be pretty good.
Yeah, no,
I don't think that you need like this person that's non-binary. That like I don't want to say that they threw this like actor into this role because they wanted to like be politically correct, but like you don't need somebody who identifies non-binary, who doesn't use he or she. Like you don't need a person who's just like super like annoying when they speak about stuff to fill that role. And that's what I don't like. Like it's just every time they open their mouth, it's like they have to give like this analogy to something, or like they have to go this roundabout way to like explain something when they could have explained it straightforward. And it's like, do you just want me to feel stupid? Is that why you did like this roundabout thing about a crow and a pigeon or whatever the fuck you want to talk about? You just want to make me feel like an asshole. Like yeah. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like I think you need like the role that Taylor plays is needed, but you don't need that character to play that role.
No,
you see what I'm saying?
I agree. Totally. And I'm trying to think what I was going to say. No, yeah. So does it need to be a non-gender, binary, whatever the fuck you call it? No, they don't need that specifically. And all that stuff you were saying was what annoyed me in the first place with them, was just like the kind of like show-offy smart answers. Like that's why I didn't like them in the first place. But I feel like, they're starting to change a little bit, where they're going to be more of a villain role, where it's just going to kind of be like the cold, calculated bad guy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Maybe next season, now that they're the chief investment officer, like I'll grow, like they'll grow on me more.
Exactly. I mean, because the way I see it is, 3-4 episodes ago, 4 or 5 episodes, they were still conflicted about taking a private jet because of the carbon footprint, and now a couple episodes later, they're the chief intelligence officer, and they're making all this money, and they see like maybe Axe goes to jail, maybe like this is a legitimate thing. Like I could see them kind of going full into the lifestyle, and just embracing the scumbagness of being a finance, an Uber finance brain or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I guess I don't know. It's like a combination of just like how they have to like every conversation they need to prove that they're smarter than the person they're talking to, almost is what I feel like they're doing, and the fact that like well, they are smarter because I just forgot what I was going to fucking say.
Like they're just sitting here like bumbling, and then they're like, yeah,
but like I said, I don't know. I mean, you could have had Dollar Bill do this whole fucking role, right? Like you could have had him become CIO.
Yeah.
Because he's already a fucking villain. Like, I don't know. I just didn't like how Taylor was like, oh man, like I'm so for the environment. Like I don't play poker because I don't like how I feel about myself when I do it. Like I hurt people, and now it's just like fuck that town. Like it's just like I don't know. Maybe I'm just being an asshole.
No, I'm listening. I was right there with you, and for me personally, this is kind of a preliminary, like no, that's the word I'm looking for. Premature. I'm in on them.
Okay.
Like I'm in on the fact that like I'm banking on them becoming this villain. It hasn't happened fully yet, but that's because that's kind of where my mind is going with this show. Like that's where I think it's gonna end up.
Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see what the character does next. Like, I'm interested in where they take the character and like if Taylor grows on me. But as of right now, like I still don't like. I don't know. I'm not fully in on the character right now.
Yeah, and also one of the things that kind of helped was they didn't have the last couple of weeks. They didn't have these like wishy-washy scenes where like, oh, what do I do? Do I take the private jet and have a huge like whatever like that?
Yeah, they're kind of just like fuck it, let's do it type of thing.
Yeah, it was just like okay, this is what we got to do. This is and it was about that. So and also I think the fact that they were getting promoted like every episode was like you could see that progress happening. Like it's one thing if you've been in a job for a while and you've been in the same position, like it kind of gets hard to like get motivated. But now that they're getting these promotions and they're able to take private jets, they just bought a $50,000 a month apartment. Like they see the tangible growth in like a couple of weeks span. So it's just like okay, yeah, I'll do some dirty stuff.
Yeah, I mean they got like $250,000 or $500,000 bonus that wasn't even like their end of the year bonus. Plus, Dollar Bill gave them like $250,000 in cash. So like like the money just in a matter of like a couple months, just like or whatever weeks, like flew in.
Yeah, most people don't see that much money in their life.
Yeah. And and Taylor did all that within a couple of months. So like, I mean, like bravo to like Taylor being that smart and like being able to like handle that kind of environment. But I don't know. I think like you, I just didn't like the back and forth. Like oh I want to help people. Oh fuck that town. Like whatever. Like it's if you're gonna do something, just go all in. Like you're in finance. Like you kind of. I think Taylor already knew that Axe Capital was kind of like in that gray area anyway, like when they first like came on. So it's like you just go all in and say fuck it and make the money or go protest to save the environment.
Yeah. Yeah. See, with Taylor, I don't need a character with depth that you like know the background of and how they feel. I don't need that. I need Taylor, maybe a couple of seasons down the line if the show's still going. I need them to be a cold, calculated, a lot less personal version of Axe. Where they're cutthroat in business, and and I can see Taylor being even better of going around the guidelines and the laws to kind of maneuvering their way through it because they're so smart. I could see them being a little bit better than that. and acts. But
Yeah, I also think that Taylor is not as like hot-headed as
yeah,
Axe.
right, calculated, like
Yeah,
like
yeah.
knows exactly what they're
If
doing.
that's how the character went, like they developed the character next like a couple of seasons that way, where like you're saying, like they're super like that villain, but they're calculated. I wouldn't mind that
Right.
because like I love Bobby, but like some shit that he does is just so like off the cuff, like just let's do this shit, and like look where he is now. Like
Yeah.
I mean, he's not like dead to rights right now, obviously, like from what's left off in the episode, but like he's fucking arrested. So like, it's just I feel like if you're gonna be that villain, like I want my villain to be like super calculated what they're doing, like, not a lot of flaws and like, room to fuck up and like give I don't know, the good guy a run for his money.
Yeah. No, I agree.
But there is no good guy in the show really, because Chuck's just it's equally as much of a dick.
Yeah. No, I know.
So
I think the only good guy in the show is Mafi.
yeah.
I think he's just this guy trapped in a rat race, and
He's always getting yelled at.
yeah. He like came into Wag's office with like some papers. Like, I need you to sign these. He's like, I never fucking signed it. Like, what are you doing here? And he's like, oh, we just want to know what's going on.
You gotta feel bad for him. He's always getting yelled at the office.
Yep.
Can seem like he never do anything right. And the girl that he wants to date is in an open relationship with him, even though he's not in an open relationship with her.
Yeah, it's not the best setup.
Like he could sleep around, but he doesn't want to. But she's definitely sleeping around.
Yeah, you do whatever she wants.
I just feel bad for him.
It's just like there's always that one guy who's just always getting shit on.
Yeah, it's him. Maybe next season he'll turn around.
But let's talk about. Okay, so we'll kind of shift gears over to Chuck for a little bit. This whole episode, he's kind of, he's maneuvering his way around and make sure that he comes out in the right position with this. So obviously, with the whole ice juice thing, his money was invested in it. That his father, took and invested. But he signed off on it. So it was invested. Mm-hmm. He lost. I think we found out he lost $27 million. It's a lot.
Yeah,
that's a lot of money. But
that's what I'm saying. Like he's just as crazy as Bobby. Like he just blew $27 million just to get like. I would never do that. I'd be like, fuck it. I don't give a shit. Whatever. I'm rich.
Yeah,
I don't care if I never get you.
Yeah. No, that's something I want to talk about a little bit later once we get to the final conversation. But yeah, so in the beginning, he's trying to make sure that he doesn't get involved, even though he was heavily involved. But he goes to talk to Four Eyes, Dake.
Yeah.
And he says, like, he expects him to kind of just play ball. He's like, I need you to just kind of leave my name, my father's name out of it. Everything else, like, it's up to you. He said he wants like help a little bit, and he just kind of basically shut him down. He was like, didn't want to play ball at all. He was like, no, I'm just gonna whatever the facts are, I'm gonna let it out. And this is my district. I'm gonna handle this, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And he wasn't having any of it. Fast forward a little bit in the episode, and he thinks he's got Bobby going back home. He ends up going back there and arresting some Asian guy instead. That's when he goes back to Chuck, tries to get some help.
Yeah.
He realizes like Bobby guy's like, I'm in over my head here.
Yeah, because think about like, he's like a guy who's kind of like internal affairs. Like he just, he would go after like people from the government, the federal government, to like, see if they were doing anything wrong. And now all of a sudden he's like head of a district.
Yeah.
Like as smart as that guy is, he is in over his head, especially with somebody like Bobby.
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure he's a qualified person, but he seems kind of young, and his job didn't seem really important enough for him to be, brought up to that position right away.
Yeah.
So he was definitely in over his head. He gives into Chuck's demands. Chuck's advice is to tap Wendy's cell phone. So he ends up calling Wendy to meet up with her. They meet up. I think it was actually, where it was? It was at the Freedom Tower spot. Like,
yeah,
that spot with the fountain memorial that they have for the Twin Towers, which is kind of, symbolic in a sense, because that's kind of where his company started.
Yeah.
Because he really got his first big break when after the towers hit, or the planes hit the towers, and he shorted the plane stock or something like that.
Yeah, he like his whole like the leaders of like his company, like all the higher ups, were like all in a meeting in the World Trade Center,
Yeah.
and like he wasn't there. Actually, I think it was I think in season 1 they say that the meeting they were having was to get rid of Bobby.
Yeah, I think you're right. So,
And the planes hit, and then like I think I forget what he shorted, but he shorted something. He became boss of the company, or right then and there. Basically, everybody died.
yeah,
And he made a bunch of money. That's what kind of started his career. Yeah, and that's where him and Wendy meet.
yeah, and that's where who knows what happens the next couple of seasons, next season, whatever. But that could be potentially where his career ends.
Yeah.
So it's kind of ironic. Yeah, so they go there, they take Axe, but kind of getting back to the relationship with Axe and Lara, what does it say about their relationship and Axe's relationship with Wendy that he called Lara telling her I'm coming home as a decoy and instead went to go meet Wendy?
Yeah.
That's
There's something there like between Wendy and Axe. I think like you've kind of seen it for the last 2 seasons.
yeah.
But there's something like that we don't know. I think I think the relationship goes a lot more than just she worked for him as like whatever she is, motivational speaker.
No, because it's it's more of a personal connection.
Yeah.
Like they're always kind of on the same wavelengths in a sense. They're always just kind of I don't know, and they're always kind of there for each other too. It's weird. I mean, who knows if it's physical or not? My guess, I don't know what I'm really basing this off of, but I feel like when he was with Lara before they got married, he might have been messing around with her.
Yeah, I think if it hasn't already like been physical, it's gonna be.
Yeah, it's gonna.
I think we're at that like inevitable point now where like if they weren't involved physically, like within the next couple of seasons, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, I mean, listen, if nothing's happened there yet, then that room that they're in at the same time, like at any time, must have the most sexual tension in history. Like you just walk in and smacks you in the face. I'm gonna get out of here before it's freaky. But
exactly.
Yeah, so I just thought that was interesting that he went to go meet her instead. But so
they're like conversations, like she's like tearing up, he's like almost tearing up, like they're hugging. She's like, I'll be here, I'll be with you every step of the way, like don't worry, like I'm here for you type of thing. And it's like, dude, what the fuck?
Yeah. Now, what do you think she whispered into his ear?
They did this 2 times in this episode that somebody says something to Axe, but we didn't hear it. It's with Wendy and him, and then Dollar Bill at the laundromat or dry cleaners whispers something to him. We don't fucking hear it. It's when he's telling Bobby what to expect when he gets arrested and like what to do.
Make sure you take a shit before you go in.
Yeah. So I don't know what either of them said, but I doubt they just did that to do it. Unless it's another deposition thing.
I got a feeling that if he gets off or whatever, gets whatever the case is, those little whispers, those little secrets are going to come back. They're going to be like a flashback scene, and they're going to show what they said. It's going to be something important. It's going to be like a twist down the line. I feel like where he's like, "That's what they said." What?
I mean, I hope that's what it is. I hope it's not like a deposition where like you end the episode on like that crazy like boss, like, okay, let's go. Like let's I want to see this next episode, and then you just don't fucking see anything for the rest of the season. So I hope that that both of these things are gonna come back up later on and be like a twist.
That's a good point. I forgot that this is the show we're talking about that did that. So who knows? Who knows? Maybe we never see that again.
Yeah.
But so when Axe gets brought in, we have now. I hope this is like a recurring trend that at the end of every season, these guys just have like a showdown.
Yeah.
Chuck and Axe, but Chuck goes to see Axe in prison. in the holding cell or whatever, and they get to talking. And this is where we find out that Chuck lost like $27 million, and the whole time he's just saying it's all worth it. It's all worth it. And that's when I realized, like, not only is this personal, but it's like they're both of them are willing for, like are willing to allow mutual destruction just to take out the other guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't care. Well, you know, Chuck more so than Axe, but I don't care if I lose all my money, if I tarnish my reputation, if I lose my job. As long as it takes you out, it's all worth it.
Yeah.
And you kind of have to just respect that. You know, for someone to just, they say there's nothing more dangerous than someone with nothing to lose. Like, it's true, because, you know, what's going to stop them from doing this or doing that? That's, you know, a person with some pride or something to lose isn't going to do it, you know?
Yeah, no, and I like how both the characters that they have like going against each other, like, just both don't give a shit. Like, both of them don't care what happens to either of them. Like, you know, they lose all their money, they lose their reputation, they don't care. As long as the other one gets taken out, that's all that matters to them. I mean, you know, Bobby's sitting there talking to him, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna find that one string, that like you left, and I'm gonna tug on it until it like unravels or whatever. And I think like Chuck kind of looks a little concerned, like for a couple seconds, but then again,
he knows there is that little string.
There is.
He knows there's a string,
and I forget what Chuck says, but he's just like, I don't know, something like, as long as you go down with me or something like that, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
or something like that. So it's, you know, they're both fucking crazy.
Yeah, they're you know, I wish it wasn't a cliffhanger like this to see what happens with this trial, but you know, you got to leave something for next season.
Yeah,
but I'm excited. What are you gonna say?
I think it's gonna be crazy, and I hope that we actually see the trial. I hope it's not like, you know, gonna be like, oh yeah, you know, he got off or something. I hope it's kind of I want to see Bobby in court, basically.
Right, like you don't want to just come back from like break and start the next season and just have it like, oh, Bobby got acquitted.
Yeah, and I don't want the show to turn into like a courtroom drama, but I want to see Bobby in court.
Yeah,
like I want to see Brian go after him. I want to see Bobby in court, like nervous. Like, I want to see all that.
Yeah, and that's another interesting aspect is that I didn't really think about this until now, but Bobby's lawyer was basically Brian's mentor in law school.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, you know, you have Chuck against Axe. You got a bunch of dynamics there. You got Brian against, I think his name is Oren. Kind of that, you know, the apprentice takes on the master kind of thing. That's kind of like in Rocky V when he fights Tommy Gunn. Is that his name? I don't remember his name, but he fights his guy that he's training. That was the worst Rocky by far. But did you ever see that one?
No, I didn't. I don't think I'm gonna.
So it turns out Rocky has too many concussions, too many hits to the head, has to stop fighting, and he starts training this guy. I think his name is Tommy Gunn. That could be wrong, but he's like this young hot shot. He was like this big ego. You know, he's super talented, but he's just kind of like thinks he's the shit. And the thing is, Rocky can't do like a sanctioned fight, can't step in a ring because like it's just, you know, he's had too much head trauma. But the movie ends where he ends up getting into a street fight with this guy Tommy Gunn, and just like they go like 12 rounds in the street. And it's like a regular Rocky movie at that point, except it's like bare knuckle, just beating the shit out of each other. Yeah, so it's, I don't know why did I start talking about Rocky V?
The Chuck, Bobby,
Brian Oren kind of. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, that's my Rocky V rant of the day. Yeah, I don't know, but I'm excited for next season. You know, this is kind of uncharted territory because, you know, in the past, like Axe's, they've had like some stuff on Axe, but nothing concrete. But now, like it's there. Like he's been arrested. Like he's gonna have to go to trial. You know, and they're not going to try and make a deal with him probably because
Yeah,
they
no.
have him basically, like you said, dead to rights.
I think there's a lot of like different storylines happening right now that I'm interested in seeing play out. Like I'm like Brian and Oren, Chuck and Bobby, Lara's storyline with Bobby and then Wendy
Yeah,
with Chuck,
yeah,
Wendy with Axe, Taylor, Wags, all that. So there's a lot of shit
really interested
that's
in
going
Taylor.
on. Yeah, because now it's like I just at this point it's like I'm like what you were saying, like how you're all in because you're hoping she becomes that villain.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at now. I'm like, whatever.
So
Just be fucking crazy.
did I talk you
ruthless,
into it?
calculated. Yeah, I'll hop on board.
Okay. All right. Cool. Got one convert.
I'll hop on board for now, and we'll see where it goes. But,
Okay.
but yeah, there's a lot of shit that they kind of have going, so it should be pretty interesting.
Yeah. No, it's I'm excited, but probably have to wait 9 months.
Yeah, which sucks, but at least like it's a good show. Like I don't mind waiting for a show that's good,
Yeah.
Like it's disappointing when you like. Well, hopefully it's good. Hopefully they don't shit themselves on season 3.
Yeah.
Because then waiting 9 months would fucking blow.
Right. It's like some of those shows that like you start watching on Netflix that are like in between seasons at that point, and you finish it during like their hiatus. You finish it pretty quick, and then the show comes back on. And it's just like not. It's one of those shows that's like it's okay to binge just because like it's kind of mindless maybe, and you put it on and it's just like not background noise, but like you don't have to like fully pay attention to it. You're not fully interested in it. Like once it comes back on TV, you're like I don't really care enough to go watch it. It's just like kind of one of those.
Yeah.
But it's not one of those because it's Billions.
Exactly. So like I said, hopefully I think they'll do a good job.
Yeah.
I think they have good enough writers and all that and actors that they'll make it happen.
Yeah. I think they'll make it work. And I get it. I don't know if I said this on a previous episode or not, but I get a feeling that this is one of the shows that isn't gonna like go on for too long.
Yeah, which I think is okay. Like I'm hoping that they don't do like what some companies do, and it's like, it should end in season 4, but it goes on to season 8 type of thing. I feel like a lot of shows do that, where like, instead of going out at their height and being remembered for being like a really good show, they do like 4 extra seasons that are just bullshit or not as nowhere near as good as the other ones, and it's kind of like,
And honestly, it all depends on whether, when they wrote this show, did they have like the whole story kind of written out beforehand, or if it was like one of those where they just wrote one season and it happened to be successful. And like, oh, well, now we got to do a second season. That happened with True Detective. Have you ever watched True Detective?
No.
Well, the first season, you got Matthew McConaughey, Woody Harrelson, really good. Probably one of the best single seasons of TV I've seen in a while. But basically, long story short, the guy who wrote True Detective, it took him 3 years to write the first season.
Oh, shit.
Now, the second season, he had to write in under a year.
Yeah.
Like 6 months because they had to film it still. So that one, everyone hated the second season, but it's like, when you spend a sixth of the time writing the second season as you did the first season, it's not going to be as good. And, kind of based off, how there wasn't really much of a drop off. I would say the first 2 seasons were pretty equal in terms of how much I enjoyed them.
Yep.
And just like kind of the attention to detail. So I got a feeling that they might have this all planned out already, at least like outlined, not all the details and everything. But
the general like guideline of like how they want everything to end.
Right, and that's kind of how Game of Thrones is the same way, even though it's going into the 6th season, right?
No.
5th, 6th
7?
season. No. How many? What's the one coming up now?
I think we're coming into the 7th one.
Okay. Well, either way, it's going to be a 7-8 season show, but like, there's a finite beginning and end. It's not just like, oh, we'll just add another season. We'll just throw more dragons in there, like.
Yeah.
Like,
George R. R.
a
Martin
solid,
has the ending already.
right, exactly. So it's not like they can't just milk it forever. And I like that. Breaking Bad, same way. I always kind of use that as my example. 5 seasons and they're out. And that was, my opinion, the best show of all time.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of Game of Thrones, they are working on like 5 spinoffs, just so you know.
Those you have to judge separately, though. You can't lump them in because.
Well, I think what HBO is doing is they're coming out with like 4 or 5 spinoffs, and then they're gonna pick one to do. Like they're just brainstorming like different ideas now,
Gotcha.
and then they're gonna like pick the best one out of the ones they come up with, and then that's how they do that.
Yeah. Well, I don't even know how. I don't even know like what they would do a spinoff of, but obviously, we'll know. We'll have a better idea maybe when the show's over.
Yeah.
Maybe they do one where they kind of. I mean, I don't know if we'll find out exactly what happened, but the whole thing with Ned Stark and Lyanna, his sister, and the Targaryens.
Yeah, I see.
Like,
I
what
think
happened
like
there?
with like some of the Game of Thrones, I'll get like too off topic, but like some of the Game of Thrones is like there's so much backstory and like lore of like the world that it takes place in that there's a
Yeah.
lot of different ways you can go. Like there's a whole history that takes place thousands and thousands of years before the actual show starts.
Yeah.
So like you could do like the humans versus the children of the forest, the first White Walker war. Like there's a lot of shit you could actually like go in to do. You could do shit that happens after the show ends. Like so Game of Thrones, like luckily for them, like because of the type of like media that it is, like there's a big backstory to it. Whereas like Billions, like I don't know if I'd want to see like, oh, what was Bobby doing before he became really rich?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that doesn't really work out too well.
Yeah, no, because and especially because it's like Game of Thrones is kind of like mythical, magical. I don't want that makes it sound kind of gay. I don't know about that, but like it's not
like fantasy medieval shit.
Right. So that's kind of different and interesting. Like if you're just showing like a guy up and coming in the business world, like how many TV shows are there about that?
Like Wolf of Wall Street, right? Like he came from nothing and then he became a billionaire, right? Like
exactly.
That's not something that I would want to watch for like a show like Billions. I don't need to see like Chuck back in law school type of shit. So
who gives a shit? Chuck hanging out in Yale, like cool, bro.
That's what I'm saying. So like certain like shows are lucky with what they can do.
Like Better Call Saul, they could do that. Breaking Bad,
like because it's showing like Saul before he was that big like lawyer for Walter, right?
Yeah, well, it goes before, during, and after. It's gonna end up doing so. Like you kind of see what's going on from a different perspective. Which I like. Right now, we're kind of getting close. Like he just kind of met Gus Fring, and he's known Mike for a while. But yeah, you're slowly getting introduced to more and more characters, and he's kind of slowly devolving into that other side of law, like the dirty side of lawyering, like the dark side.
Yeah.
He's kind of slowly creeping over to that side, so you can kind of see it catching up to where the show
that's
is.
kind of cool, actually. I didn't know they were doing that. Like, before, during, and then after.
Yeah, eventually, Walter's going to be in it. Bryan Cranston, Jesse's probably going to be in it. It's gonna get to that point. Like we just like Huel just showed up for the first time. Huel, big Huel.
Yeah, isn't that
the bodyguard?
The black guy, right?
Yeah, the big bodyguard. Yeah, he just
that guy. That dude's head.
Yeah, he's got quite the head.
Speaking of big black guys, rest in peace.
Yeah. R.I.P. Big Black.
Yeah. That's pretty shitty. Heart attack. I heard he died of.
Is that what it came out? Heart attack?
I saw an article. Yeah, I saw an article on Facebook that it was something to do with a heart attack. That's what.
Yeah, I mean, I hadn't read anything on it since like the night that the news broke, so I wasn't sure what it ended up being. But you kind of had to imagine that sort of be. I mean, he was huge.
Yeah, it was. That was like your text in our group chat. Like, I can only assume it's something to do with him being massive.
Yeah. I mean, it's like it's not that hard to kind of put that one together. But obviously, Robin Big was a show that was way ahead of its time.
Yep.
Now everyone tries to replicate that,
Yeah.
that kind of fantasy factory, like, and it's one of those shows that's just like it was genuinely funny. It didn't have to be like raunchy or like dirty or like whatever. It was just like two buddies hanging out, getting up to a bunch of shenanigans. Like,
Yeah.
like what's
it
not
was
to
awesome.
like about it? Yeah.
So this episode's in memory of Big Black.
Absolutely. I'm glad you brought that up. Now that we've talked about everything but Billions for a good 5 minutes, 10 minutes, whatever. Did you have anything else before we kind of wrapped it up?
No, I'm looking forward to what they do in season 3.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of rare nowadays to find a show that, can do even 2 seasons that are really good. A lot of shows have like a good first season, and maybe the second season's like, not as good, and then like it's kind of like back and forth type shit. But like Billions seems like it's a show where like every season probably be really strong, like very like entertaining, making you think, be like, oh shit, I can't wait until Sunday again to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
Looking forward to it.
100% agree with that. Before we get off, you have an anti-ad for us, right?
Yeah, this episode is not brought to you by Apple. I feel like I talked about it before, but like now that I actually like bought the piece that I needed, I'm mad again. So the new Apple laptops don't have USB ports; they just have those Thunderbolt ports. Same thing that like the phones use or whatever, I guess. Or
is that what it is? I didn't even realize that was the.
Yeah, it's like a special fucking stupid port that like you have on there. It's dumb. They don't have USB ports, and so if you want to use like a USB device or anything like that, you have to buy an adapter that has a Thunderbolt port on the end of it, and you have to use that. So like, I have connected my Thunderbolt port, a big fat adapter that has like 2 USB ports, one 3.0 USB port. Like, so I had to go out on Amazon and I had to spend more money for my laptop, and my laptop already costs like $2,000.
Yeah.
So I spent more money just to be able to use USB stuff. So fuck Apple. I don't know why you would do that. That's the same thing like when you have the new iPhone, like you didn't have a headphone jack.
Yeah.
Why? Like, I know you only did that to make us buy more shit from you. Like, stop doing that, man. Like, your shit's expensive enough. Like, I know you make bank off of every laptop you sell. I know it doesn't cost you $2,000 to make that shit. So, like, all I'm saying is stop being so fucking greedy. Like, you're going backwards. I used to support Apple all the time, like fully, like love their like laptops. I've only had Apple laptops. I've never had anything else. Like the cell phone, since the iPhone 4, that's all I've had is iPhones.
Yeah,
and I love them, but it's like you guys are just trying to like milk money now. It's like, dude, fuck you. Like that's ridiculous. I should have to buy an adapter to use a fucking USB port on my laptop. That's ridiculous. Like computers should just have that.
That's business, brother. People keep paying for it. They'll keep doing it.
I mean, it is, but it's like, I'm like from the mindset of like, if I'm making enough money in the business, like I'm making like, my revenue is like $3 billion a year and I'm making $1 billion in profit. I don't need to nickel and dime motherfuckers. Like I'm okay not doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's not as much profit. I don't give a shit. Like at least my customers are fucking happy. But I guess like people are gonna still buy because it's fucking Apple, so I guess they don't really have to even care about that. But I don't know. Have some like morals, man. Like shit.
No, it's I actually watched a documentary on that kind of is interesting. I forgot what it's called. It's like the light bulb paradox or something like that, where basically when light bulbs were kind of first becoming popular back in the 20s, 10s, 30s. I couldn't tell you exactly when, but they started making light bulbs, and like back then people say, oh, they don't make stuff to last anymore. Same thing with the light bulbs. They had these light bulbs. They would always have upgrades to like how many hours they have, top of the line. Mm-hmm. But it got to a certain point, and I don't know the exact numbers, but like they had the technology to release like 100,000 hour light bulb, let's say, but they would only make it one that would last 10,000 hours, so that people would have to buy more.
Isn't it like batteries now too?
Yeah, like batteries, kind of with the technology after a couple of years kind of shits out. Like things I forgot, it's like the light bulb. I don't want to say paradox. I don't know what it's called. The light bulb something where it's just like they all make it the same way. Like they could make it last longer. It would cost a little bit more, but like they wouldn't get you to keep buying every couple of years. And that's just like what companies do. It's it's just the way it is. You're not going to find someone who's not going to change things up on you and try and get more money out of you. It's sad, but it's the world we live in.
I don't know, I have like a different mindset when it comes to business. More of like how you treat your employees, I guess, is like where I differ from like everybody else, I guess. Like, I don't think a CEO needs like $500 million in a bonus. Like if I'm a CEO and you're gonna be $500 million, just give me like a $50 million bonus and take the rest of that and give it back to my employees. Like I'd rather like increase their well-being than just like have more money that I know what to do with.
Well, you're super generous. I'll give you that. I don't know if I would say the same thing, but
yeah, like I don't know.
I mean, like I agree with what you're saying. Like that's the right thing to do, but it's like that's a lot of money.
Actually, do
that's a lot of money.
I mean, it is.
You do a lot of things with that money.
I don't know. I sit at home. I don't go out. Like, so for me, it's like, dude, I'd rather just like I'd buy like the latest technology and that's it.
Yeah, I guess
maybe like a nice car.
50 million should cover that, but like
just having 500 million in your bank account.
Not even that. Like once you have that money, it just opens up the world to so many more possibilities. Like things you never even think of doing, but like, all right, I'm going to do this. Like
maybe I would react different if I actually did get a bonus check for $500 million. But I like to think that I'd be able to be like, no, like give me 50, give my employees bonuses, give them raises, give them better healthcare, shit like that.
I mean, that's a 90% pay cut. That's just not good for business, my friend.
I mean,
for your personal business.
Yeah, no, it's not good for me, but like 50 million is a lot of fucking money.
No, it is. It is a lot of money. But like
I can retire on 50 million.
That's true. That's true. But let's say, instead of taking 50 out of the 500, let's take 400, give 100 back. You could distribute that pretty fairly between. Let's say you have 1,000 employees in your company. Everyone's getting like.
Yeah, maybe my example was a little exaggerated with like how much, you like cut, but yeah, all I'm saying is like I like to take care of my employees first. I would like to think that's what I would do. Like, like Amazon, like just treat your employees right. Like, I don't know, just don't be a dick.
Just do the right thing. Just
don't be Trump. That's what I'm basically. Don't be Donald Trump.
And it all comes back to Donald Trump.
Well, yeah, because only because I heard in the news today that he said something about he doesn't exercise because he doesn't want to waste his finite body energy or something like that.
Yeah, dumbest shit. Like fucking 80 years old. He has to worry about dropping dead.
But yeah, I don't know. That's just how I would like to think that's what I would do as a CEO.
All right. Well, if you ever become CEO somewhere, give me a heads up. Let me know what kind of positions you got open because I might be coming on over to your team.
I mean, I don't think I'm gonna hire you, but
why the fuck not?
I don't know. You seem to forget that I knew you like through all high school and like middle school and college. Like, I don't know, man.
I knew you. Listen, I knew you too. I knew you too. I could dig up some shit that would make your life very, very difficult.
Okay, I'll make you second in charge.
Just hush money. Give me a bunch. I don't even want a position. Just give me a bunch of hush money.
That's doable. Right. If I'm getting a $500 million bonus, that's doable.
I'll take 100 mil. I'll be cool with that.
That's easily done.
All right, deal. We'll get that. My people will call your people. We'll get that in writing, and
okay,
we'll be good to go.
Okay, sounds good.
All right. So I guess that's our show. So let's talk about this a little bit. This show's running a little long, but we'll just kind of get through this real quick. So what do we have we decided what we're doing next? As always, we're gonna hash out our business model in front of everybody. We're gonna
Yeah,
plan in front of the masses.
because we want you guys to see how it's done.
Right. We give you behind the scenes kind of look into the madhouse that is head. So we have a couple options we've been looking at, right? I mean, we talked about House of Cards.
Yep, that's starting back up end of the month.
House of Cards, so we'll probably get in on that. I guess we wait to that because I mean, there's no point in starting one other thing.
Yeah, and for House of Cards, like it's the Netflix series, so all the episodes come out at once. So I think what we're going to try to do, I guess, is we're not going to do one like long podcast for the whole season. We're going to break it up because if you've listened to us from the beginning, we've done that before with 2 different shows, and we felt like it was just hard to do. It was hard to like actually go like in depth and like talk about it and like discuss everything when you're trying to cover 6, 7, 8 episodes in an hour and a half.
Yeah, and also this is before I started taking notes. So like I was just trying to remember like stuff that happened like in the first episode after watching the whole season in like 2 days, and it's just like everything blended together. I don't know what we were talking about. But yeah, I think we're gonna split up. We'll probably do 2 episodes a week.
Yeah,
that's more than doable. So yeah, I guess that's it. House of Cards, it's in the books. That's what we're doing. Glad we got that figured out. Yeah, you got anything else before we get on out of here?
No, I'm good.
All right, cool. Make sure you guys go follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Bingeaholics Anonymous, should find it on there. We have a website, bingeaholicsanonymous.com. You can find the podcast on there, or you could also find it on iTunes. That's iTunes, right?
Yes.
We're on iTunes? Okay, we're on iTunes.
We're on iTunes, I think.
We have confirmed that we are on iTunes as of now, unless they decide to kick us off because no one listens to us. So it's a possibility. It didn't make the cut.
That's true.
But yeah, so find us on there. Last words? No?
No.
All right. Until next time, make sure you guys binge responsibly.